Hi Gemini, welcome to December 2021. So this month we have a new moon in Sagittarius and it's a total eclipse in your 7th house. That should be very exciting and we'll get into it later. And then we have, let's see what's happening. Also, Mars moves into Sagittarius, Neptune on the 13th. Neptune goes direct on the 2nd. Venus goes retrograde in Capricorn in your 8th house. And then we have a full moon in Gemini, your sign, in your 1st house on December 18th. And so let's see what the cards say for Gemini about love and relationships. What can Gemini expect for December? How are you going to close out the year in terms of love and relationships for December? What does Gemini need to know? What does Gemini need to know for December 2021 in terms of love and relationships? The Star, the Strength card, the High Priestess, the Ace of Pentacles, the Hangman, the Chariot, the Nine of Cups, the Fool, the Nine of Swords, and the Tower. And the card at the bottom of the deck is the Three of Pentacles. Now the Tower, don't get worried about the Tower. Sometimes it just means major change, where you're like rebuilding from the ground zero. So it doesn't always mean disaster. But because you have the Star here, I mean, you have a lot of great cards in this reading. The Star is a wish fulfillment. It's a dream come true. It's like manifesting something, like you have this dream or this vision of what you want in love. What's the ideal relationship for you? What's crossing you? And you can achieve it with the Star. You have the Nine of Cups here. So I'm going to get to that later. The Nine of Cups is a wish fulfillment. Except what's working against you is that the Nine of Cups is in your negative thinking sector. So you have to believe that it's possible. If you could have the best luck in the world, but if you negate it with negative self-talk, it's not going to manifest. But you do have potential here. What's crossing you is the Strength card. Now, the Strength card can represent dealing with emotions, like fluctuations in emotion. Like you may feel, it's about like learning to control your emotions, not be reactive, not go to extremes of emotion, either highs or lows. That's what's probably blocking you from manifesting this dream. You could also be dealing with someone who has issues around anger. It's either you or the other person. If you're in a relationship, there could be someone who needs to work. There might be some counseling issues that need to be done, where you learn how to heal your feelings of self-worth. Maybe you feel inadequate in some way or frustrated, and you don't know how to get what you want. You don't know how to ask for your needs to be met in a healthy way. Where you resort to an emotional display, like either anger or drama, whatever, instead of being calm and just being winning more, like being nice and reasonable and just saying this is what I need. Sometimes people with the Strength card, it's like you have to overreact to get you don't feel like you're worthy, so you let things slide until you get really angry, and then you're like erupting. Now this doesn't have to be, it could, if it's not you, it could be the other person, that you could be dealing with someone who's a little bit emotionally unstable. But the way out, or the solution to this card, is counseling, healing, learning how to tame that inner beast that we all have. We all have a side of us, the animal nature. And that's what this represents. Controlling your animal nature, controlling your reactive nature. Where if somebody's pushing your buttons, you don't automatically, fly off the handle and react in a negative way. you say, okay, I'm just going to take a few deep breaths. I'm going to think before I speak, and I'm going to try to control myself. That's what this is about, self-control, controlling your emotions, controlling your anger, controlling the reaction, and taking a break where you can react in a healthy way or a calmer way. This could also represent that counseling could be helpful in a relationship. So it's either you may need to talk to someone about these emotional issues, and you may need help dealing with that. And if you can, it can really change your life. I mean, if this is a problem that you're dealing with, counseling could really be helpful. If it's a problem with someone else and you're in a relationship with that person, counseling can be helpful. So if it's not your issue, it could be the other person. Now you have the High Priestess here. This is a card of, things happening behind the scenes, following your intuition, but mostly it's about, taking time out to meditate, to hear that inner voice. So if there's a lot going on, because Geminis are usually very active. You've got a million irons in the fire, you're doing this, you're running here, you're running there, you're doing everything. And you may not give yourself enough time to find that inner peace. And then when you're stressed out, then it leads to, because I'm overtired, I'm overdoing it, then I'm reacting because I haven't found that calm inner peace. And the High Priestess can help you to connect with that inner divine. So leave yourself time to have a calm moment, even if it's the first 5 minutes of your day, the first 10 minutes of your day. Take some time out to meditate. The end of the day, before you go to bed, work that into your schedule so that after all the craziness is over, or before the craziness starts of the day, you take time out and you visualize. Quiet your mind and visualize, what do I want in relationships? How can I manifest this dream? Who is my perfect partner? What am I looking for? What am I grateful about now in my life? Success comes with gratitude. The more you experience gratitude for what you have, the more the universe delivers more to be grateful for. Now, in addition, so that may help you with the strength situation. Sometimes the strength card, and if it's not you, you could be helping someone in that, dealing with their emotions, and that would help for them too. To both, if you're in a partnership, both of you take time out and meditate. Use your intuition. Connect with that inner voice. I always say to people, prayer is talking to God, and meditation is listening for the answer, because you can't hear that voice, that inner voice, when you're too busy. You have to calm your mind to hear that inner guidance, and that's the divine speaking through you, speaking to you. So you have the Ace of Pentacles in the recent past. So there could be, and the Three of Pentacles is here. So this is like career success. You could be experiencing a new job offer in addition to this romantic situation. Things are changing for you on a lot of levels, especially because you have the Hangman coming up in the future. So you may be moving away, giving something up for something better, making a sacrifice, changing your life in some way, in major way. The Ace of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles, I see that as career success, recognition. You might get some kind of promotion, or there might be an opportunity for new money to come in. But it's also success in the sense of attaining a goal, a tangible new beginning. The Aces are always new beginnings. And it looks like the energy has already started, because it's in a past position. It's something that has already started influencing your life. So there has been a new beginning. Maybe you're starting a new job, or a new beginning in a current job. And it's bringing in, financial security. The Ace of Pentacles always brings money with it. So you could have received some kind of either a raise or promotion or some kind of insurance payout. Whatever it is, money will be flowing to you. The other thing is, if you have a relationship goal, the Ace of Pentacles can help you to make that dream real. So it's not just a pipe dream, it's something that is already beginning to take shape, because the Pentacles represent the physical reality. The other Aces are more mental or, emotional, or like the Swords is a new way of thinking, the Cups is a new emotional experience, a new way of loving. The Wands might be a new way of taking action, but it's not they're all in they're not physical. They're not physical. It's something you have to either do or feel or think. The Ace of Pentacles is like an actual physical thing. So with that being said, I feel like with this new beginning, you're giving something up and moving on with the Hangman. Now things might not happen as quickly as you like, because the Hangman also represents the need to have patience. So don't get frustrated if things are happening slowly. Just take things one day at a time. But the Hangman is definitely about moving on. You're going to be coming out of that limbo state. You may feel like things are hanging in the balance in limbo, but that's temporary. At some point, you are going to be giving something up for something better. The Chariot is in the near future. That's a card of victory, success through discipline and focus. So you have to really know what you want in a relationship before you can achieve it. You have to know what your goal is. A lot of times, Geminis have, you get bored really easily. So you like to fill yourself up with activity. And this Chariot is about being pulled in a million directions. And if you could see this, it's what these horses represent. The black horse is like, taking you one way. The white horse is taking you the other way. And this represents, your desires. And if you notice, well, I don't know if this card shows it. Actually, this card, in some of the decks, the horses don't have reins, because the symbolism is I have to use my mind to control the horses. So the horses represent our desires, and you have to figure out, what do I really want, and focus my energy to instead of the horses carrying me everywhere, I have to direct them. I have to take the reins. And you do that through mental focus. So this card happens to have reins. So it's telling you have to direct your energy and stop being distracted by all these other possibilities. Because if you're too scattered, you're not going to achieve anything. So you might be interested in different people, or if you're in a relationship, you might be too busy doing other things and not focusing on the relationship. You have to figure out, okay, what do I really want? And let me zero in on that goal, on that wish, on that dream. And let me drop some of these distractions so that I can achieve success, so I can focus all my energy. And then you have the Nine of Cups here, and the Fool in your environment. The Fool is like a brand new beginning with someone new. So I think that if you're not in a relationship, the potential for a new beginning with someone brand new is very possible. You could also have, if you are in a relationship, it could be a situation where you say, okay, you know what? Let's turn the page. Let's start over. Let's forget the past. Let's pretend like we're just meeting, and let's just have a new beginning. Let's wipe the slate clean. Let's forgive each other for our past, injuries and hurts and whatever. And let's have a new start. And since this is in your environment, it could be that if you're in a partnership, this is how your partner feels as well. And so your partner may be wanting a new beginning. In your wish fulfillment, though, you have the Nine of Swords. And you may have, this is a card of mental stress and sometimes guilt. So you may be worried about someone, or maybe feeling guilty about something that happened in the past. Like your mind won't stop. Or you could be worrying, if you started a new thing, you might be worried about the future. Like, am I going to go through the same, maybe you came out of, with this Tower, you may have come out of a traumatic relationship experience and you don't want to repeat that. And so you might be worried, like, well, if I start something new, am I going to go through that disaster again? Am I going to have another disaster? But the Tower, a lot of people, when they see the Tower, they worry, like, oh, it's disaster. What the Tower does, it represents freeing you from the wrong path so that you could find and rebuild on the right path. So if something gets destroyed in your life, if a relationship falls apart, it's not the end. It may seem like the end of the world, but it's really a blessing in disguise, because it's taking you out of a situation that was not good for you so that you can rebuild in a better direction. And you have the Star here. This is the card that comes right after the Tower. The Tower is number 16 in the Major Arcana, and the Star is 17. So after the fallout, after the dust settles, then you have the card of hope. Okay, now I can rebuild without all the baggage of the past, and I can achieve a dream that I've always wanted to achieve. But you have to let go of the guilt and the worry. It's not helping your situation. So don't let worry interfere with this new beginning, because I think it's very promising. I think this and it's going to represent major change in your life. The Tower also, it releases you from something that's oppressive. So maybe you've been feeling stuck in a relationship or trapped in a situation, and it's just freeing you. It's like, okay, it's over. Thank God it's over. Now I can rebuild. Sometimes it could represent a blow to someone's ego if you've been a little bit arrogant, or if you're dealing with someone that's been arrogant or controlling, or you're seeing the truth. The Tower is also illumination. If you see the lightning, this is the light of truth is striking the Tower. So any false ideas or perceptions that you may have had, they're being destroyed. Like, I'm seeing the truth. And the truth sometimes can be devastating when you see the truth. But the good thing about it is once you see the truth, you can't unsee it. And you have to take action. And you're going to, the change is really putting you on the right path. It's stopping you from being in a situation that's hurting you. And you have the Nine of Cups here, which is a great card. It's a wish fulfillment card. And you have an opportunity for a new beginning. You just have to believe that it's possible. Stop, get rid of the guilt, get rid of the negative self-talk. And, the Nine of Swords next to the Tower, it's release from sorrow and release from suffering, release from mental stress. So I feel like the future is going to be good for you. You could have a brand new beginning and build a beautiful life with someone. Just a breath of fresh air is coming in. The winds of change are blowing, but you have this fresh air, this opportunity for a new start. And there's a lot of hope there. So let's see what the astrology says. We have the new moon, and it's a total eclipse. So the eclipse can eclipse people out of our lives. So something can fall apart suddenly, but then there could be like an ending and a new beginning, because it's a new moon. So there is a new beginning. There's new beginning energy here that's very powerful. Eclipses are very powerful. So you might have been thinking, well, I'm thinking of leaving this job, or I'm thinking of leaving this relationship. And then suddenly something happens and you got to do it sooner. Like, I thought I was going to do it a couple of months from now, but now it's now. I have to do it now. It's happening in your 7th house of partnerships. Now, the 7th house is committed partnerships. It could be a serious relationship, a marriage, but also a business partnership where you suddenly feel like, I'm leaving. I have to leave. I'm out of here. Mercury is there. So Mercury has to do with communication, thinking. Maybe you're having a new way of thinking about partnerships. There could be a message that comes in unexpectedly that, puts you on a new path. You have Uranus is the strongest aspect to this new moon, and it's in an inconjunct or an uncomfortable. It's like an opposition, but it's even more. It's kind of like. See, with the opposition, there are elements of both. Like, you could find some kind of middle ground with an opposition. But with the inconjunct, it's a little more difficult because it's like apples and oranges. So Uranus in the 12th. The 12th house represents things that are hidden and psychological blocks and people that have been working against. Some truth is going to come out with Uranus, especially with Taurus. It may rock your world or your sense of security on some level. Like, if you've been attached to a relationship for a long time or dependent on someone for a long time, maybe financially, it could rock your world. But it will also free you so that you could follow a different path that's healthier. With Uranus, you never know what could happen. But because it's in the 12th house, you may be a little bit surprised by what comes up because it's been hidden for so long. And so then all of a sudden, like, the awareness comes out, and suddenly it's good, because when you can't heal something if it's hidden. You have to see it first, and then you can heal it. So it's a good time to do some psychological work, find out where your blockages are, work on seeing your blind spots, because sometimes we have behavior that everybody could see but us. We don't see it because it's hidden. Anything in the 12th house, everybody sees it but you. So if you could see what's been hidden, see how you might be self-sabotaging in relationships and in career, this can be a good thing, because once you see it, I can fix this now. I see it. Now, at the same time, you've got Venus moving toward a conjunction with Pluto this month in your 8th house, so that's intense. The 8th house can represent resources that you get from other people, like money coming in through not the job, like your salary, but it could be like funding, like a grant funded thing, or an insurance payout, or even a lottery winning, some kind of, contest. You've got money coming in. Could be a partner's income. But also, so I feel there could be some positive things happening with work, because you have Mars in the 6th house, so you might be busy working. Mars is in the 6th, but it's sextile Venus and Pluto. So there could be a romantic connection possibly through a work situation. Venus and Pluto brings intensity. And the 8th house has to also do, not only is the 8th house, resources that you get from other people, like money, bank, taxes, inheritance, that kind of thing. It is also the house of intimacy, going deeper, creating some kind of bond with someone where you go deeper than just, like you might have been in relationships where you had a superficial kind of connection. With Venus and Pluto, it ain't going to be superficial. It's going to go deep. You're going to have a soul union. There's a lot of power in that connection with Venus and Pluto. So you have to be careful not to abuse that power. Either you or your partner. Don't fall victim to someone else having power over you, because the feelings are so strong. And there's a lot of chemistry, and there's a sexual attraction too with the 8th house. But it may trigger some of your darkness, but it's a way of allowing you to heal at the same time. So it's very intense. Mars is square Jupiter. Jupiter's in the 9th house. You may feel like traveling, getting out, teaching, learning, connecting with people that are different than you. If you do form some kind of connection, either career-wise or with a partner, it could be someone of a different culture than you, someone that broadens your horizons in some way. Maybe decide to travel together. Or if you're doing a job, it could be that you're working with a company that has a global reach, or you're working a remote job with a company from a long distance. Any of those things are possible. Saturn is also in your 9th house. So Saturn is like rising. He's on the rise. No, wait a minute. Yeah. Saturn's rising. And when Saturn moves into Pisces, not right now, probably a year from now, you're going to reach your career peak. So now's the time to learn all you can learn. Get all the experience you need. If you have a career goal, it's a good time to go back to school or get some training with Saturn in the 9th house. So if there's anything that you really don't know and you need to advance in your career, now's the time to do it. It's a good time for... but it may be a lot of work, and you may feel like, oh my God, but the end result will be worth it, because at the end you'll have something that you can really that is a real accomplishment. So you may go back and get a degree, finish a degree, get another degree, maybe get training in a brand new career, who knows. Whatever it is, it's going to lead to success when Saturn then moves to the 10th house a year from now. So now's the time to focus on your education. And if you're older, you could be teaching. You could be teaching your wisdom. You've accumulated a lot of wisdom and you have a lot to learn. You could wind up getting a job where you're teaching based on your life experiences. So then we have a full moon. Okay, well before that, let's see what's happening. So Mars moves into Sag on December 13th, which is in your 7th house. So that's going to bring activity to partnerships. So if you're not in a happy relationship, Mars can bring arguments, because you're being more assertive and you're confronting things. You're taking action. Mars gives us the energy to take action. So if you're not in a partnership, you're going to take action to be in one. If you're in a relationship and it's got some issues, you're going to speak up and be more assertive. Or if you're attracted to someone, you may be tempted to go out and approach them. And Venus then, so we have the full moon in Gemini, your sign. And the full moon's not an eclipse, but it is bringing something to culmination. So it's in your 1st house, the moon's in your 1st house, the sun's in your 7th house. It's illuminating your partnership sector. So you're seeing, the truth about partnerships. You're seeing it's about balancing your needs with the needs of the other, because the 7th house is the other, the 1st house is what I need. So if you've been negotiating some kind of contract or something like that with the new moon, it may come to fruition at the full moon. Now, this is a positive, I think this is a positive full moon because it is trine to Jupiter. Jupiter's in your 9th house. So anything that you've been working toward in terms of teaching, learning, travel, dealing with, it's communication house, getting your, speaking your truth, speaking your wisdom. Jupiter is at home in the 9th house because it rules Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is a 9th house sign. It's going to bring you abundance. So if you've ever thought about either teaching or you're thinking about training something, it's going to bring you more money down the road. So you could be teaching others with the skills that you've learned, and that's going to bring you abundance. Or you could be going back to school to learn more. It could also involve you with the 9th house is also spirituality and beliefs. You could be connecting with people and that have that will help you. They have a vision for the world, and you might be part of some group to make the world a better place. Anyway, it's going to bring you abundance. It's going to bring you also recognition because it's affecting your moon in the 1st house. Now, at this point, Mercury is in the 8th house with Venus and Pluto. So your 8th house is pretty activated at this point. And Mercury is trining Uranus in the 12th house. So this is a good time to really go and confront your darkness. Everybody has a dark side. Everybody has a shadow. The 8th house is the house where you confront your demons. You confront your shadow. What's blocking me from having an intimate... If you're not in an intimate relationship, you may start looking at why am I not? Why have I never... why am I not connecting with someone at the soul level? What is it about me that I'm blocking? So it'd be a good time for counseling if that's an issue for you. It's also... Mercury in the 8th is a good time for signing contracts around financial matters or receiving information around financial matters, messages, communication. Like I said, Mars is in the 7th and it's opposing the North Node in Gemini in your 1st house. It's a separating aspect. It's only like 3 degrees away. It already made the conjunction before this full moon. But what Mars is doing, it's telling you, it's showing you the route that you have to go to improve your relationships, and it's centered around communication, speaking your truth, telling your story, not being afraid to communicate your needs, because Gemini is about communication, speaking up. So if you've been afraid to speak up or ask for what you need, Mars can help you. It can help resolve conflicts in relation. It may bring conflict, but those conflicts will lead to speaking up and not sweeping things under the rug where you're like, okay, I'm not really happy with this person's doing, but I'm not saying anything because I want to keep the peace. You can't do that with Mars. Mars is like direct. Mars is, it's the warrior energy. It's like, I have to say something now. I have to speak up. We have to resolve this. So it could be resolved in a good way where you speak up and you decide to compromise, and the other person is hearing you. Or it could be that, okay, we need to break up if we can't resolve this. But whatever, you're going to see the truth and you're going to take action. Venus goes retrograde right after this new moon on the 19th in Capricorn. And that's in your, let's see, where are you? That's in your 8th house as well. So that could bring up, when Venus retrogrades, Venus rules love and money. So in your 8th house, the 8th house rules intimacy and financial assistance that you get from others. You're going to be dealing with love, intimacy, and money. How it all relates. Sometimes people use money to control other people. Because Pluto and Venus, there's power struggles around money. So you could be having some kind of power struggle with a partner over some type of financial issue. If a partner holds the purse strings, they might be using money to manipulate you, to twist your, push your buttons. I'm trying to say it in a good way. So there could be power struggles if you have some kind of financial connection with someone. Or there could also be power struggles around an intimate connection. So this month is going to be a turning point for you. Major change, major awakening. where you see what needs to be done, you take action, and you have an opportunity for a new beginning that can lead to greater intimacy and greater abundance. Look at all, you've got this abundance card here. But you're going to have to face some things that might be difficult in the process. So don't fear that. Don't fear facing your shadow. And don't fear taking action to deal with that, because it's going to lead to a new life. So I hope you enjoyed this reading, Gemini. If you did, click on the like button, leave a comment. If you'd like a private reading, click on the link in the description box. It'll take you to my website, and we can get you on the schedule. In the meantime, I want to say thank you for supporting this channel. I wouldn't be here without your support. And so have a wonderful December. If you're celebrating the holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Solstice, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you're celebrating, just have a wonderful time. December is going to be wonderful. I think December is going to be surprising and a chance for new beginnings, surprising turning points, and you have a chance for a new life or a new beginning. That's going to bring you a lot of joy. So enjoy December, and I will talk to you again next month. Okay, bye now.